North Carolina is home to some of the most haunted film locations in the United States. Many horror movies and thrillers have been shot in its eerie towns, abandoned buildings, and old theaters. Legends tell of ghostly figures, wandering film sets, unexplained footsteps echoing in the dark, and lights flickering without reason. Actors and crew members often report chilling encounters while filming. These haunted spots add a terrifying layer of mystery, making North Carolina unforgettable for ghostly cinema lovers. Now we will visit the most haunted film locations in North Carolina. Number 1. Orton Plantation. Orton Plantation in Brunswick County near Wilmington is one of the most haunted and most filmed places in North Carolina. Surrounded by moss-covered oaks, dark swamps, and a river that seems to whisper at night, it has been a favorite backdrop for directors for decades. Its grand house and sweeping gardens look beautiful on screen, but when the cameras stop rolling, the mood often changes. Many who work there believe the plantation is alive with restless spirits, watching each scene unfold. 5 famous films shot at Orton Plantation include Firestarter 1984, Divine Secrets of the Yaya Sisterhood 2002, Crimes of the Heart 1986, Lolita 1997, and Hound Dog 2007. Each film brought new crews, new actors, and new encounters with things no one could quite explain. During the filming of Firestarter, actors remembered sudden bursts of wind sweeping through the oak-lined paths even when the air was still. One actress swore she saw a shadowy man standing on the porch staring at her, yet when she blinked he was gone. Crew members said equipment would topple over as if shoved by invisible hands, leaving them shaken in the dark. When Divine Secrets of the Yaya Sisterhood was filmed, the mansion became more than just a set. Extras recalled hearing a woman sobbing upstairs, though the upper floor was locked during filming. One night a director insisted the sound was part of someone's prank, but when they checked, there was only silence and a cold air drifting from the hallway. Some say the cries belonged to a lady of the house who lost her child long ago. During Crimes of the Heart, cameras picked up strange distortions inside one of the rooms. Actors felt dizzy, like the air was thicker there. The cameraman insisted something passed across his lens, not dust, but a figure in a pale dress. That shot never made it into the film, but crew members admitted it unsettled them for the rest of production. On the set of Lolita, props disappeared without reason. A director's chair went missing and later turned up deep in the gardens, folded neatly beneath a tree. No one admitted moving it. Local guides said it is common for items to vanish on the grounds, as if the past claims them for itself. Hound Dog added its own story. The young cast spoke about lights flickering violently in the grand hallway. Electricians checked every wire and found nothing wrong. One night, the lights went out completely, and a figure was glimpsed gliding down the staircase, vanishing before reaching the bottom. The crew refused to film late-night scenes indoors after that. Each film added another layer to Orton Plantation's haunted reputation. It is more than just a movie location. It is a place where the past refuses to stay quiet. Ghostly footsteps echo across the wooden floors, shadows slip through the gardens, and a chill never quite leaves the air. For actors, directors, and crew, filming at Orton is unforgettable, not only for the movies they created, but for the terrifying stories they carried home. Stories whispered in the dark long after the camera stopped. Number 2. Biltmore Estate. The Biltmore Estate in Asheville, North Carolina, is not only one of the most breathtaking landmarks in America, but also one of the most haunted film locations in the state. Its massive halls, endless rooms, and shadowy corners have served as a backdrop for countless movies. Over the years, this Gothic-style mansion has developed a chilling reputation for unexplained activity. 5 famous films shot here include Forrest Gump 1994, Hannibal 2001, The Swan 1956, Patch Adams 1998, and Mr. Destiny 1990. Each of these productions carried stories not just of cinematic brilliance but of terrifying, ghostly encounters. During the filming of Hannibal 2001, crew members claimed to hear footsteps pacing in the library long after shooting wrapped, even though the room was locked and empty. Some swore they heard whispering voices, almost like conversations that stopped the moment someone entered. The estate staff admitted that these experiences were common, as guests often reported the same disturbing sounds. While working on Forrest Gump 1994, a camera assistant recalled feeling a cold hand brush across his shoulder in the main dining hall. He turned around, expecting to see another crew member, but the room was completely empty. Later that evening, actors resting between scenes said they saw a shadowy figure glide across the corridor, disappearing into a locked room. The director brushed it off at first, but when the lights above flickered wildly during a night shoot, even he admitted the atmosphere felt unearthly. The estate's grand staircase, where scenes from The Swan 1956 were filmed, has its own terrifying tale. One actress reportedly froze mid-scene when she saw a woman in Victorian clothing standing on the landing, silently watching. The apparition vanished when others looked, leaving the actress trembling for the rest of the day. This story has been retold by modern visitors who claim to see the same lady in black drifting through the stairwell. During Patch Adams' 1998, several crew members noticed doors closing by themselves and furniture shifting slightly when left unattended. Some swore they heard soft weeping in the music room, only to discover it completely empty when investigated. The haunting was so unsettling that the crew limited night shoots inside the mansion. By the time Mr. Destiny 1990 was filmed, the Biltmore's ghostly reputation was already well known. Actors claimed to feel sudden bursts of icy air in otherwise warm hallways, while a makeup artist reported seeing a reflection in the mirror behind her that didn't belong to anyone in the room. Terrified, she refused to be alone inside the mansion after dark. The Biltmore Estate is more than just a cinematic jewel. It is a place where history, grandeur, and the supernatural collide. Each film shot here seems to awaken something within its walls, reminding everyone that the estate isn't only home to priceless art and architecture, but also to restless spirits still wandering its halls. Number 3. Bellamy Mansion. The Bellamy Mansion in Wilmington, North Carolina, is one of the most haunted and spine-chilling film locations in the entire state. Built before the Civil War, this grand white-column mansion has been a backdrop for filmmakers who wanted elegance mixed with a terrifyingly eerie atmosphere. Its dark history of war, slavery, and tragedy seems to have left something behind within its walls. 5 famous films shot here include Divine Secrets of the Sisterhood 2002, Cape Fear 1991, Sleeping with the Enemy 1991, The Young Indiana Jones Chronicles 1992, and Blue Velvet 1986. But behind the beauty of its architecture, horrifying stories unfolded during filming. During the shooting of Divine Secrets of the Sisterhood 2002, several crew members swore they heard the sound of a woman crying on the upper floor. When they rushed upstairs, the rooms were completely empty. One actress later admitted she felt a sudden icy breeze sweep across her back during a quiet scene, followed by the sensation of someone standing right behind her, though no one was there. The director called it the mansion's way of reminding us it was alive. In Cape Fear 1991, crew members had terrifying encounters at night. Lights would flicker violently, even though electricians checked the systems multiple times. One evening, a cameraman dropped his equipment in fear when he saw a shadow of a tall man pacing the balcony. Locals believe this spirit could be one of the Civil War soldiers who died on the property, still guarding it in restless rage. The most frightening tale comes from Sleeping with the Enemy 1991. Julia Roberts herself reportedly refused to stay in the house after dark because she felt watched constantly while filming. Crew members later shared that during one late-night rehearsal, an unexplained knocking sound echoed through the mansion's walls. The sound moved from room to room, as though something or someone was following them. While filming The Young Indiana Jones Chronicles 1992, the cast often felt sudden drops in temperature inside the grand hallway. A child actor became so terrified after claiming to see a man in old-fashioned clothing walking across the corridor that production halted for hours to calm everyone down. Even during Blue Velvet 1986, when the Bellamy Mansion was used for background shots, the haunting was unmistakable. The director later said he felt a strange heaviness every time he stepped inside. One crew member claimed that while adjusting props, she saw a handprint appear on the dusty wall, though no one had touched it. The Bellamy Mansion is more than a filming location. It is a haunted landmark where history bleeds through the walls. Every film shot here seemed to stir up its restless spirits, leaving both actors and crew shaken by forces they could not explain. Today, visitors still whisper about hearing phantom footsteps, ghostly cries, and cold touches in the dead of night, proving the Bellamy Mansion will forever be one of North Carolina's most terrifying film sites. Number 5. Southport. Southport, North Carolina, is a picturesque coastal town that filmmakers love for its charming streets, historic houses, and ocean views. But behind its beauty lies a darker reputation. It is also one of the most haunted film locations in the state. The town's long history of shipwrecks, deadly storms, and Civil War skirmishes has left restless spirits wandering its docks, inns, and old homes. 5 famous films shot in Southport include I Know What You Did Last Summer 1997, Crimes of the Heart 1986, A Walk to Remember 2002, Safe Haven 2013, and Under the Dome TV series 2013. Each brought terrifying ghostly tales that shook actors and crew to the core. During I Know What You Did Last Summer 1997, the cast experienced more than staged horror. Night shoots on the docks were plagued by eerie events. Unexplained footsteps echoed along the wooden planks, yet no one was there. Sarah Michelle Gellar later admitted she felt a cold hand grip her arm while waiting for her scene. Crew members noticed mist forming in the streets even on warm nights, and locals whispered it was the spirit of drowned sailors returning with the tide. While filming Crimes of the Heart 1986, several actors complained of strange knocking sounds in the historic homes used for interiors. One actress swore she saw a woman in period clothing staring at her from an upstairs window. When the house was checked, it was empty. The director recalled that doors would creak open on their own, disrupting quiet takes and leaving the entire set on edge. A Walk to Remember 2002 filmed several tender scenes in Southport, but off-camera, the mood was anything but peaceful. Mandy Moore said she felt a heavy sadness while walking past the old cemetery, and crew members claimed they heard faint singing drifting from the graves. The sound was so clear they thought it was a local choir, but when they investigated, there was no one there. When Safe Haven 2013 was shot, more ghost stories surfaced. Several actors staying in old waterfront inns reported being woken by footsteps pacing their rooms at night. One director's assistant fled her hotel after her bed shook violently, as though someone had grabbed the mattress. Others heard whispers echoing through the hallways, and objects moved on their own in the kitchen where late-night filming was set. Even the Under the Dome TV series 2013, shot partly in Southport, carried eerie tales. Cast members described sudden gusts of icy wind sweeping through outdoor sets on hot summer nights. One crew member saw a glowing figure moving through the marshland and thought it was a trick of the light. But the apparition stayed long enough for others to see it before vanishing into the darkness. Southport may look like a charming fishing village on screen, but those who film here discover a chilling side hidden behind the beauty. Phantom sailors, ghostly women in windows, strange voices in cemeteries, and unseen hands remind everyone that Southport's history is alive, and its spirits are not at rest. Number 6. Fort Fisher. Fort Fisher, standing on the edge of the restless sea at Cure Beach, is a place where history bleeds into the present. Once a mighty Confederate stronghold during the Civil War, it became the scene of one of the bloodiest battles in North Carolina. Thousands of soldiers were slaughtered here, their bodies buried in the sand, their cries swallowed by the ocean waves. The ground is soaked with tragedy, and even now, it feels alive with something dark and unending. Hollywood found its way to Fort Fisher, using its windswept beaches and ruined battlements as the backdrop for films. Among the most famous were Firestarter 1984, Weekend at Bernie's 1989, Sleeping with the Enemy 1991, The Butcher's Daughter 1995, and Message in a Bottle 1999. Yet behind the cameras, what the actors and crew faced was far more terrifying than anything scripted. During the filming of Firestarter, the cast whispered about shadowy soldiers marching silently across the dunes at night. One actress screamed after feeling a freezing hand clutch her throat, leaving bruises shaped like fingers. The crew swore they heard distant cannon fire even though the night was silent. Weekend at Bernie's brought laughter on screen, but fear off it. A mannequin was found dragged across the sand one morning, its arms posed as if reaching for the sea. The director admitted he could not sleep. He kept hearing footsteps pacing outside his tent, though no one was there. While filming Sleeping with the Enemy, Julia Roberts herself complained of the heavy feeling of being watched. The sound team captured whispers on their recorders, voices that seemed to beg and warn at the same time. A cameraman fled the set after locking eyes with a soldier whose face was torn and bloody, standing at the edge of the surf before vanishing into mist. The small crew of The Butcher's Daughter was shaken deeply. One young actress fainted after seeing a soldier soaked in blood who whispered, "The sand drinks us still." Production halted for 2 days as fear gripped every member of the team. Even the romantic message in a bottle was not spared. When reviewing the footage, figures in Civil War uniforms could be seen standing in the distance, motionless and staring. When the crew rushed back to the site, nothing remained but empty sand. Fort Fisher is not simply a filming location. It is a battlefield frozen in time, where the souls of the dead walk in endless patrol. The ocean winds carry their cries, the sand hides their blood, and those who come with cameras leave with nightmares. Unlike any other place in North Carolina, Fort Fisher reminds you that war may end, but the dead do not rest. Number 7. Airlie Gardens. Airlie Gardens in Wilmington, North Carolina, is a place of breathtaking beauty by day and suffocating dread by night. Spread across 67 acres, its moss-draped oaks, winding paths, and hidden statues have charmed filmmakers for decades. Yet, beneath the beauty lies centuries of sorrow. Once part of a wealthy plantation, its grounds carry whispers of enslaved people, tragic deaths, and stories of spirits that never left. Visitors say the garden breathes with a strange energy, one that doesn't welcome strangers after dark. Hollywood has returned here again and again. 5 of the most famous films shot at Airlie Gardens include Domestic Disturbance 2001, Sleeping with the Enemy 1991, The Jackal 1997, A Walk to Remember 2002, and Blood Done Sign My Name 2010. Each production came chasing the beauty of the gardens, but many left with chilling stories that were never part of the script. During Sleeping with the Enemy 1991, Julia Roberts reportedly refused to walk alone through the garden paths at night. Crew members claimed they saw a woman in white drifting near the butterfly house, only to vanish when approached. Roberts herself once felt a hand brush against her arm while rehearsing, though no one stood beside her. In Domestic Disturbance 2001, several lights used for night shoots flickered and died repeatedly, as if drained by something unseen. One actress fainted after hearing a child's voice calling "Mama" over and over near the Azalea Gardens, though no child was anywhere near the set. The crew said the flowers seemed to move unnaturally, bending toward the voice. The Jackal 1997 brought even more terror. The director swore he saw a man in old-fashioned clothing watching from the lagoon, his reflection visible in the water, though the bank was empty. Later, a cameraman snapped a picture of the lake at night, and when the photo was developed, a row of shadowy figures stood behind the cast, silent and staring. During A Walk to Remember 2002, one of the younger cast members broke down in tears after wandering too close to the Airlie oak tree. She claimed she heard the sound of chains dragging across the roots and felt something cold press against her back. Crew avoided the tree afterward, but every morning, footprints appeared in the soil, though no rain had fallen and no one had walked there. Even in Blood Done Sign My Name 2010, a film not meant to frighten, unease seeped into the production. Strange shapes appeared in the mist that rolled through the gardens at dawn. A director's assistant swore she saw a dark figure crouched in the branches, watching the set until it melted into nothing. Airlie Gardens is not just a place of flowers and beauty. It is a resting place of restless souls, slaves, soldiers, and women who died in sorrow. The gardens hold onto their grief, and anyone who dares to film within their moss-covered walls walks among the dead. In the silence of Airlie Gardens, beauty is only a mask for terror. Number 8. Boone. Boone, hidden in the misty Blue Ridge Mountains of North Carolina, is a town where the beauty of nature collides with the chill of the supernatural. Surrounded by thick forests, winding mountain roads, and old stone buildings, Boone carries centuries of Appalachian legends, tales of ghostly women, wandering spirits, and lost souls who refuse to leave. Its eerie charm has pulled filmmakers into its mountains, but many left with stories that chilled them long after the cameras stopped rolling. Boone has become one of the most haunted filming locations in the state. 5 famous films shot in and around Boone include The Hunger Games 2012, The Last of the Mohicans 1992, The Green Mile 1999, Winter People 1989, and Songcatcher 2000. Each came here for the wild, unspoiled beauty of the Appalachian landscape. But none escaped the unsettling presence that lingers in the mountains. During The Hunger Games 2012, Cast members swore they heard screams echoing in the forest during late-night shoots. Jennifer Lawrence herself admitted to feeling uneasy when filming near an abandoned cabin, where crew members claimed to see a woman in black standing in the trees, watching silently before vanishing into the fog. On the set of The Last of the Mohicans 1992, several extras were terrified when the sound of drums and war cries echoed through the hills, though no other crews were filming nearby. One actor fell to his knees after feeling an icy hand grab his shoulder in the dark, whispering words he could not understand. The Green Mile 1999 was meant to film peaceful mountain scenes, but the crew reported strange malfunctions. Lights exploded without cause, and one morning, the director found deep scratches across the wooden set walls, as though claws had raked across them overnight. A cameraman fled after claiming he saw a tall shadow figure moving silently across the mountain ridge. Winter People 1989 brought an atmosphere of dread from the start. An actress fainted during a snow scene, insisting she saw children with hollow eyes staring from the trees. For 2 nights, the production halted because the crew heard the sound of footsteps circling their camp. But when they searched, the snow was untouched. Even Songcatcher 2000 was marked by Boone's strangeness. While filming a music scene in the woods, audio picked up an extra voice singing, haunting and low, though no one in the cast or crew could explain it. Later, one singer reported dreaming of an old woman who stood at her bedside, whispering the same song they had just recorded. Boone's mountains do not sleep. The trees hide watchers, the valleys echo with lost voices, and the earth itself seems restless. For filmmakers, Boone offers beauty and danger, a place where every path through the woods might lead not just to a film set, but into the hands of something unseen.